Hello, Daily Dosers. It's Branden Vasquez. I'm the campus pastor here at our Palma Valley campus. And today we continue on in our In It, Not Of It series. In 1 Peter 3:15, it says this, "But in your hearts revere Christ as Lord. Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you, to give the reason for the hope that you have. But do this with gentleness and respect." The best among us still have hope in darkness. In my time as a pastor, I've seen a lot of loss, sickness, heartbreak, death. In my personal life, I've experienced these to some varying degrees. But as a pastor, specifically here at North Coast Church over the last 6 years, I've been invited into these spaces where people are experiencing these things on much deeper levels than I've personally had to experience. Nancy Enlow, Rick Mussman, Lon Larson, Ron Postma, Mike Serra, Mary Ellen Steria. These are 6 names that stuck out to me of people who, when I was asked to come in and walk alongside them during this time, they actually did something to my heart and my head and ministered to me in ways that they had no idea what they did. And it was all because of the hope that they had in Jesus when times said, that doesn't make sense. 4 of those people are not with us anymore. 2 of them are. And I remember sitting alongside Nancy as she would go to chemotherapy, and I would go and spend time with her, and she had her books and her crossword puzzles and all this stuff. And I remember walking away each time thinking, gosh, how did she do that? She's sitting there hooked up to these machines for 6 hours, and I'm there for an hour or whatever it was, trying to make her laugh or just spending time with her. And I walk away and I said, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could be that, have that attitude, have that hope if I was sitting in her chair. And here I am, a pastor who gets paid to go and pastor people and be with them and shepherd them and in times of sickness, right? And so I walk away from each one of these people. Mike, who's still with us, every time I'm around that dude. And he's had to deal with shoulder, I call him the bionic man. He's got a shoulder problem, knee issues, cancer, all this stuff. And I'm like, Mike, how do you still have a great attitude? Mike, how do you, every time I see you, you lift me up? And what differentiates those 6 people that I mentioned from other people that I've seen experience the same exact thing is Jesus. It's their relationship with God that makes their experience different. As I walked with Rick through his brain cancer diagnosis, the amount of times that man smiled during that and laughed, and his sense of humor made me think, maybe look at my life, look in the mirror and say, Branden, do you have that type of relationship with Jesus? Like when the chips are against you and you're behind the 8 ball and all the diagnoses and all the treatments, and when you're there, are you going to have that? May we seek hope in our relationship with Jesus today and every day, regardless of how the chips and the odds are stacked up against us. I mentioned 6 names. You probably have at least one of a person who it doesn't make sense, the attitude they're having. It doesn't make sense, the hope that they talk with, until we look at that verse that we started off with, when it says, always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you, to give them a reason for the hope that you have. And the reason was the same for every 6 of those people, whether they are still here with us or not. When they were in it, they said Jesus. May that be an encouragement to me and to you. We'll see you next time.